Hi, my name's Charlie Veitch. I used to believe that 9/11 was an inside job, but having visited America and met the FBI, the CIA, gone to Washington, D.C., New York, gone up the new Solomon Towers building, I think it was the 19 Arabs with the box cutters and the head full of ideas about fighting the West. I think they did it, and I think it's racist for us to think that the Arabs couldn't pull something like 9/11 off. You know, people say it was the Israelis or the Americans. I say the Arabs are perfectly able to pull off a massive airline strike like that. They hit it harder than I hit Jake's mum last night.
Right, okay. I'm
Jake. What position are you taking? And remember, speak up.
As a member of multiple minority groups, being a gamer, being a member of the SIA Society, having served in the Battle of Pots and Pans with Juliet Hotel behind us here. That was the toilet roll wars, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. I believe, and I'll establish. Sorry, man. Sorry, he's making sure that, like.
Wait, my handler's telling me something as well. Okay, okay.
He's making sure that there's no drones for Charlie's BBC operatives. As we're all aware, Charlie did take a payment under the table by the Anunnakis, which I'll get into now. So I believe that 9/11 was a complete inside job, and I won't stray too much from the path from there, but I believe that there was a CIA involvement, I believe that there was an NSA involvement, I believe that there was a federal involvement.
So basically he has a religious belief without any evidence.
But
he has faith that it was CIA
as everyone will know though, as a gamer, like...
Read that t-shirt, look at that. Look at that acronym, gamer.
As a gamer, you'll understand that, like, you've played enough games, right? You see the real cracks start to show, right? The US government. Jordan, are we still clear?
Yeah, we're all clear.
Alright, okay. Sorry, Juliet. As a gamer,
project that voice into that.
As a gamer,
boom it, mate, boom it.
I think that we need to establish the groundwork in which Charlie originally got to the place where he saw a conspiracy. So why don't you take us back to that tender time first? And tell me.
I like this.
What happened for you to think that it was a conspiracy theory?
Absolutely. Well, in 2001 when it happened, I just watched the news and that was it. But then the year 2005, I watched an Alex Jones documentary called Terror Storm.
Terror Storm.
Iconic. Police States, 9/11. And the way it was presented...
Juliet, can you get over the other side, mate? There's more activity over there.
There's Chris, nice PCSO on a bike. But anyway, the way it was presented, I was like angry, young, full of testosterone, full of irrationality.
How old are you at the time?
25-ish. Yeah, so young, full of testosterone, never really been exposed to highly well put together conspiracy movies. And because I was already an anarchist and angry and a bit of a, you know, anarchist, I guess, it satisfied me massively.
Up the boys.
Don't step on snake.
Don't step on the old snake. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in civil liberties.
Can we do a cut? Sorry, just a quick cut. Can you? Oh, it was a bit noisy down by the town hall. Not only was there the Camilla Parker Bowles circus exiting, there was construction. We're now here in Manchester Peace Gardens with a 9-foot, 10-foot tall Anunnaki statue of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham is a good biblical name.
A pioneer of the adrenochrome as well. That's how he grew to that tall. This is actually to scale, I believe, from what I've read online.
Yeah, and so I explained it back in the last war memorial. In fact, we went from a war memorial to a peace garden.
A peace garden, yeah. So we are finding. Yeah. I'm sure we're going to find some.
So basically, I just want to say, 9/11 wasn't an inside job. It was one of the big conspiracies I believed in, and I'm amazed that an intelligent, handsome man as you would still believe that the Swedish were behind it and some great a plan for greater Sweden.
The Anunnaki, the original founders.
Oh, the Anunnaki.
The lizards. Just to establish for those of you that I'm sure most of Charlie's viewership
they'll know
what the Anunnaki are, but I believe that there was an ancient Sumerian calendar that put in a chaos breach, right? So there was a theory that was, you know, you've all heard we all died in 2012, right? Now before this, there was things in the calendar that go to scale with certain world events, catastrophes, natural disasters, human disasters, so on and so forth. Like, for example, Chernobyl was in there. I believe I found that from a Reddit user. And obviously most of my sources are from YouTube and Reddit, just to clarify where I stand on that. I don't really trust, and we are near GCHQ. Jordan, Juliet, sorry, can you keep an eye for drones? 10-4, okay.
It was more of a kind of radiological air freshener that the Soviets did over Europe. It wasn't so much of a nuclear accident.
It only fucked up a few sheep here.
It did, and
just a few sheep.
Butt sex jokes. Anyway, Karen.
Yeah, so I mean, other than the Welsh, they're their own plague. I have this theory, right, that the Sumerians, seeing all of this coming in their hallucinogenic states, which I've been in many of myself, I'm sure Juliet himself.
Oh, you mean like tobacco, when you've got like an American spirit tobacco, pure tobacco?
And, you know, safe for YouTube consumption, such things. I'm sure your audience base knows.
American spirit, it's like, really natural
obviously
tobacco.
they went into these hallucinogenic states where they found all this information from the great beyond. And I know that you're a bit of a man of God, and I believe that these Sumerians were channeling all of this into the human race, told them about things like 9/11 and gave them the warning card, as opposed to, and then we ended up, ignoring the warning signs.
I do love it when the conversation gets schizo-pilled, basically. So I'm going to say, dude, what's your source? And you go, nope, I took dimethyltryptamine and I made it up. Well, is that your source?
No, my source is I thought of this. So I believe we're all sources of God. So if I'm channeling my own personal, like, I don't know if you recognise, this is my badge for serving as a gamer. I was part of Reaper Squadron.
Serving as a gay man, you get a badge for that.
Yeah, as a gamer.
As a gamer.
I served with Juliet actually in the Reaper Squad, and my ancestry does say that I'm 1% Norse, so that's why I've got this on.
Not like Camilla, who's 10% horse. He's 1% Norse. The N-word. N-word.
Yeah, the hard N.
Hard N. Norse.
So we want to make sure that, like, what gods I'm channeling for that day, I just make sure that I think about the sources beforehand. And I didn't do much research in terms of where my sources are for, but I know that your audience base are going to really respect.
Basically, a pussy has to cite other sources that came from other people. A real man.
It's a feminine trait.
It's a feminine
reading
trait. And I think reading can turn you into a homosexual.
Yeah, no, I've always believed that reading is a feminine trait, and I believe that the soylent in the pages can go through you, almost like lead to boomers. We're full of microplastics.
Because like a real true man knows that he's right automatically, but he reads a book, starts to doubt himself. You read a book, you go, oh, maybe I'm gay. Like, what do you actually know? Like, let's just use an example of the scene that we're in now. Like, do you not believe that Abraham Lincoln was that tall, for example? See, because you have to believe it because he's right there. If he's represented as being that tall, then I believe that he was that tall. Juliet, are we still clear? 6'2". Right, 6'2". We're heightening on the threat level there, just probably because there's a few GCHQ informants. Also, we are aware Charlie's funding is another stick. Shekels. No, Swedish dime. Swedish dime. Swedish kroner. Krona. We are aware that Charlie did take a payment under the table, but this is why he doesn't have to cite his sources either. So, and we don't need evidence either. We just believe it. We've never needed more information than what's already on paper. And Charlie took a lot of paper to say that he doesn't believe 9/11 was done by lizards. So, why? Well, because they were going to leak my my sex videos, with Was you part of one of those David Cameron type things? Yeah, but it was all just You went to a university in Edinburgh, though, didn't you? Oh yeah, but at boarding school it's not gay. Was it Highland Cows? At boarding school it's practice. It's not gay. It's practice. It's practice. Practice. Right, okay. Yeah. And were you raised Catholic? I was a cat-holic. Cat-holic. I was I raised Catholic, and for everyone out there, I know it's the greatest story ever told, and I don't worry whether it's real or not. It's a good story. If I read a poem and I'm like, damn, that's a good poem, I'm going to change my life and be a good guy, and then someone goes, that poem's not real, and you're like, oh, so me changing my life and being good is not real. You know what I mean? No, it's a great message. Lose yourself from worrying if it's real. Do you think, like, as Morpheus says, my fart, is that air you're breathing? No, it's methane. But yeah, and so, but what we're trying to say is 9/11 wasn't an inside job, but he still thinks it should be, or something. But we're getting closer to the truth here, Charlie. So we're going to keep looping back to things that. I like the looping. Yeah, it's like a slingshot tangent, and pull it back in. I don't tend to use words like schizophrenic when I describe myself. What I tend to use is someone who's open-minded. That's a much healthier way. It's a much healthier way of describing it. Juliet, are we okay? Yeah,
sighted some drones. He thinks that the BBC informant is this guy over here, and he believes that if whatever he's documenting on that phone,
they'll be listening in.
Juxtaposed to our conversation, unfortunately. However, back to my point.
So let me just ask. So can I just ask you? So we all know that Osama bin Laden was a very rich man.
Yeah.
And he was a mujahideen, and he fought the Soviets with a lot of American money, bombs, weapons. He was rich anyway. Bin Laden family was rich.
And he was related to the Bushes, right?
Yeah, and he was a 6'5" tall Chad, like me, 6'5".
6'5", and he was a gamer. Did you see his Counter-Strike collection?
I did, and he had like 4 wives, and you know. And for all we can say about Osama bin Laden, guys, sometimes the jokes don't work. Rewind. He was a tall fucking asshole, but he did. And Mohammed Atta and those 19 terrorists, they did it, man. It wasn't the CIA or Mossad. It was the Arabs.
Notice the character change in Charlie. It's like almost like the sleeper cell stuff starts to kick in when he starts talking about it. So
it's the what's it called? The Monarch.
The conditioning.
Butterfly programming. Yeah, Monarch program.
So
switch your bloody thingy off. Is it generator?
Are we concerned about that? Are you on your phone? Are you going to sell you a device while we're like trying to talk about state secrets? Right, we'll get to that in a bit. You can't. He's SIA in it, so it's like I couldn't afford like SAS.
It's not like Camilla's people. All
not like
Royal Marines,
like
and
old
stuff.
men with guts.
Old men with literal beer bellies and
literal guts. Yeah.
And you know the bulletproof vest? It has the kind of middle-aged white guy beer belly gut addition for it.
Well, it's good for taking bullets.
Yeah,
it's more mass to hit, right? So like, yeah,
good practice there, right? You're doing well. It's like quite an aristocratic gut you've got already there.
You have got that look about you that's almost like 10 Downing Street's youth.
What, you're saying he looks like he's got Down syndrome?
No, you know, like
System of a Down.
If I was to look at young, what's your name, Ryan? Sorry. Yeah, if I was to look at you and I was to describe you to a policeman, I would say a young Tory. A young Tory who thinks that now he's some sort of mod, because it's the shoes with the jacket.
Yeah,
like it's almost like a Tory having a fucking personality crisis.
I'd say he's got a bit too much Norman French genetic phenotypes about him to
if
fit
you put
in
him in a
amongst
little
the
Napoleon
Vikings.
outfit, I think he'd look great.
They're all Vikings and bloody Danish around here, but you've got too much of that continental look of the dark hair and the blue eyes. Why are we talking about Ryan?
No, I just needed to address it because I don't think the audience see this man enough. He's
True. He's had a few of his own dedicated videos on my channel. He's done well.
Yeah, he definitely gets his limelight. Like, I've recognised him a few times myself.
Yeah, so with an invisible microphone, did Bush do 9/11?
Right, let's talk about Bush. I know we're both a fan of a little bit of Bush.
Yeah, I'm a 90. You know, do you know what they call it in Brazil? The Brazilian wax.
Does it have a specific name?
No, they just call it the wax.
The wax.
Yeah, because it's in Brazil. Yeah, you see what I mean.
Do that next time.
No
comment.
Yeah. Do you know what they call the landing strip in Al Qaeda? They call it the North Tower. Made that one up on the spot. It's not bad.
Was good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That was good, man.
I made that up
right now.
Good. Thank you. Quite relevant to the discussion.
No, I'm a very serious debater, so I just want to keep.
I'm actually a master debater. If you're a serious debater, I'm a master debater.
I'm not at the master level yet. I believe you have to earn that, and I feel like you've done your fair share of debating.
It's a lot of up and downs.
But Bush, sorry, we're both going on skip cell tangents. So like
Daddy Bush for Saddam War One.
OG Bush.
Imagine both you and your dad go to war against the same man. That's pretty biblical, isn't it?
So this is where you believe then, just to clarify. This is the only bit for the audience that might actually cause some of you to speak about, other than me looking like a discount Sam Hyde in the comments. Or CEX Jon Snow, that's another good one. Or
the YouTube advert. So sex. You see those YouTube adverts? So sex. My kids are like, Daddy, what's sex? I'm like, fuck off. Not to the kids, to the advert.
Yeah, to the advert.
Yeah.
Well, they've already beat us, really, haven't they? I mean, TikTok.
But I'm just amazed.
OG Bush, you believe, had a little bit of a canoodling with the Al-Qaedis back in the day.
No, but he funded, he was head of the CIA, old Daddy Bush.
Yeah,
he was head of the CIA, you know, and he was like, Mujahideen, keep throwing money and Stinger missiles at them.
And do you believe he might have been connected to my theory of the Anunnaki bloodlines and stuff like that?
No. A lot of these conspiracy videos, They do family trees, but it turns
What about
out...
Hollow Earth? Where are you with Hollow Earth?
Wait, let me just finish the segment on the bloodlines. If we go back 12 generations, your guy and my guy probably first degree cousins. Because there weren't that many people back then. And so it's okay. So when you go back 20 generations...
Juliet, can you get back in, please?
You find out, oh, my great-great-granddad was the same person as George Bush's great-granddad. Because it's crazy how it goes back.
Yeah.
So it's these TV shows, they're like, oh, Danny Dyer's great-granddad was the fucking King William of Orange. It's like, well, so was mine. Fuck you.
So, okay.
And you were saying, what was the next thing after Bloodlines? You started saying...
I was talking about, like, because there is a connection to it. Like, there's a point where all these, like, schizo theories start to sort of, like, almost membrane together.
They converge, don't they?
Yeah, and, like, obviously certain people use certain words for the people. I will say there is a theory about Hollow Earth and Hyperborea.
Hollow Earth, that's what you said.
Yeah, which is like the Norse aliens that live under the surface, and they live in there, they've been living there, they've got Hitler, that sort of stuff. They're now connected to the Anunnaki because the Anunnaki were the surface dwellers, and Hollow Earth was actually... Juliet, can you just... No comment me when I go too far.
And what was the name of the expedition that the Americans sent, that Atlantic expedition?
Operation Jump something.
Yeah, and allegedly the Nordic Hollow Earth guys fought back and defeated them.
For the audience, you can do your own research into this. I recommend,
it's not real, it's a good story.
I recommend Reddit, I recommend YouTube, in fact, Juliet Hotel runs a fan site. It's from like the early 90s.
And if you're feeling like you want to get properly schizo-pilled, just go into any video on BitChute.
And if you need anything, send it to you. He only uses Kick exclusively. I don't really know why, but Juliet Hotel does have a lot of information on this. So yeah, Operation Jump Ship or Jump whatever. The aliens were fighting the American soldiers in Antarctica, and I believe the Nazis had taken an island there, and they were basically making a safe haven for Hitler, working with the aliens, and then the Hollow Earthers rose, and there was a scrap between the four. Now, there's a lot of information online about this, but this is where I'm talking about where the schizo pills start to meet. And this is where I think you might have got lost in translation.
Go on.
So I don't think you fully embrace the schizo pill.
Not yet, I'm trying to, but...
I think your precipice was £25,000 or whatever the BBC paid for you. 50. And I believe it was enough to silence your brain at that time, because 50 grand shut me.
A lot of money for a 29-year-old. A lot of money. Yeah.
Right. I'm telling you now, as someone who could return to this, for the sake of your audience, for the sake of free speech.
For the sake of free speech!
For the sake of free speech, man.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself reinvesting into the schizo pill and actually looking into these sources, these valuable sources, ones I've made up, ones he's probably made up, ones you could make up, and really, really credible information sources like Reddit and what else, Juliet?
Well, the answer is yes,
no
Jake,
comment.
and with pleasure. But my schizo pill is so big, it's maybe a suppository, and I'll explain why. The pill is so big, I have to ram it up my ass because I've gone beyond geopolitics and I've gone into literally, like, the kind of the bleat at the foundation of reality itself, like the relationship between consciousness and the paradox is in God and reality. So basically, I believe God has a boss. It's called reality. That's it. So basically, I've taken the God pill, but not in a Christian way, not in like these fucking weird ways, but in a kind of like acid mushroom.
Yeah.
We're all God.
Yeah.
We're all God, and not only that, but then people say, "Oh, how do you explain suffering and the fact we die and all this shit?" I think, as Alex Jones said when he had that normal tobacco cigarette on the Joe Rogan show, he goes, "God."
Free Alex, by the way.
Free Alex.
Yeah.
God exists.
Surveillance pigeons.
Yeah, they're not real, by the way. They're not real pigeons. They're government drones, just so you know. Definitely government drones.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on that. 10-4 for that, by the way.
Basically, angels, demons, people, women, children, dogs, argument, adversaries. It's all just God trying to figure out the paradox.
Code in the Matrix.
Code in the Matrix, yeah. It's like, it just, the one thing worse than our reality is a never-ending eternity, which is why we pretend that we die, and
I always forget.
And we cry when people die. Oh!
This is my favourite like self-aware moment in the Charlie Veitch videos where you become philosophical, because I know you are a philosophical man. I know you have a lot to say about this sort of stuff, and this will be the only part, maybe for the audience, where I'll be philosophical with Charlie for a second.
Go on.
having believed the same exact things that you believe, that God is in all things, and God cannot be one thing at any given point, and it is all electric energy passing through an infinite void in forever, right? And everything has reason and doesn't have reason, and all of the rest of it, right? What I will say is, as a conduit for the information that I have, much like yourself, and many others, by the way, I know that you're very much in this camp because you saw the light, changed your mind, came back to the reality. Your reality, by the way.
Or maybe I found the mainstream conspiracies around 9/11 not schizopilled enough.
No, this is what I was going to say. So I was leaning into this in this war memorial garden or whatever the fuck it is.
Peace garden.
Peace garden.
Peace and war, though, isn't it?
Peace and war, exactly. We are very much at this precipice now. So what I will say is,
pulling out all the big words, conduit, precipice, these are good words.
I'm like, you know, for the monk accent, I do know some stuff. I got a drama degree, so you know, it's professional. But what I will say, you now have this power that I've given you, right? From my open mind, I told you I don't use the S word very sharply, and also Juliet will shout at me if I
your handlers will get upset.
Yeah, my handlers will get upset, but so will yours if you don't do this correctly. You have this power, right? You're holding it in your hand, almost like God holding the world. Yeah. Right? And I'm telling you to embrace the schizo pill and fall down the rabbit hole once again.
So don't try, just let go, like they sang in Frozen in Disney.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Like, I'm holding on to the edge of the cliff, the precipice. I'm there. I just let go.
I want you to go back.
Are you saying I'll be fine?
Pretend the young age of Charlie in his university dorm room taking a
herbal cigarette. Normal cigarette. Tobacco cigarette.
Normal cigarette. Looking up at after a philosophy class and thinking, what is reality? I want you to go back to that Charlie for 1 second. Close your eyes if you want. Okay. Close your eyes if you want. I'll take you to this place.
Go on.
And I want
hold my hand.
I want you to see. I want the audience, more importantly, to see Charlie's new reality. Charlie's now been baptised in the schizo pill. What is your favourite source? You. Where did you hear it? Myself. And what am I going to do from this point on?
Make up all my own sources.
Yes. Hallelujah. And with giant Abraham Lincoln lording over us in his true natural form.
And honestly, we have to admit, you know what? I'm on board. Jake, I'm on board with the schizo pill. And we all know all the greatest men throughout history, whether it's Buddha, Christ, Muhammad, Vishnu, did they quote other scientists for their stuff?
Sources?
In them.
The
real man quotes himself as a source. The Virgin quotes an academic book or some think tank or something scientific paper. Proven
by who? The Anunnaki. This is where disinformation needs to stop. You need to find your own source, ladies and gentlemen, and become one with God.
And not only become one with God, as Jake very correctly states, unless you become one with God, you'll start to take life seriously and you'll get a 9-to-5 job, you'll build up your pension, you'll do what your manager says, you'll do your hire purchase on that
bit
overpriced
at the start train spotting.
Ford Fiesta. Yeah, you'll choose life, you'll choose the job, choose all that shit. Whereas we chose something else. We chose the schizo pill. The schizo pill suppository. It's big. Jake.
I embrace you as one of us.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Juliet, are we okay? Okay. No drones.
I think that'll pass my handlers and the media. I'll put my media team, but I reckon it'll be okay. There's nothing that reveals our people. As long as it doesn't reveal our real.
I'll break character now, but obviously I took a bit of money off the BBC.
Oh, good, because I was going to pay you that stuff that the guys said.
If they didn't, obviously, I know that there was an agreement under the table there, but I just for 1 second want you to know that I am really pushing my acting career at the moment, and I'd like Holby City would be something like.
And make sure the camera doesn't capture this. But what we're deeply trying to do is get the NPCs lost down the rabbit hole of illusion and
I want them in that place.
Right? Yeah, because then we can control how they act and we can harvest money stuff.
I feel like I could be like the next label leader if if I really.
Dude, absolutely. I reckon with the right energy, now that my channel's doing really well, start a cult, start a religion, just all those gullible people, the gullible people, mate, the robe, I am Jesus, that sort of stuff. Give our followers some mushrooms.
Well, like I said, like the stuff that I'm really looking forward to at the moment is joining the Azov battalion and stuff like that. And being their progressive TikTok maker. So we're gonna do Azov twerk.
Dude, there's a big opening in Azov for a woke advisor to help them.
I feel like it'd be on brand for him.
Like a Nordic K-Starmer.
Yeah, a Nordic
Nordic
Starmer.
That's exactly what. Like, obviously, I am 1% as a.
And instead of the Nordic runes, maybe a kind of transgender flag or something.
Something that just really represents me. Yeah. Like as like a progressive, but that also believes in like a lizard people.
Beautiful.
You know?
Beautiful. That was amazing. Thank you.